Hello and welcome to Midweek Momentum, a quick thought to help you move through the rest of this week with a little bit more clarity, confidence, and intention. And today we're actually pulling one of those specific words out and talking a little bit more about it, and that is confidence. For those of you that have read Scary Good, Discovering Life Beyond the Sunday Scaries, you know chapter 11 is kind of a culmination of many things. And it is a chapter about how action comes first and confidence builds through action. And one of the pretty incredible things about that chapter is I think it was the chapter of the book I needed. And it wrote itself as the book was being written and wasn't something I was able to synthesize and articulate until I had gone through all of the chapters before it and realized that's what I was doing, whether it was learning how to mountain bike at 42.8, whether it was starting a business, taking a bigger client, getting on a stage. They were all things that I took action on without ever having done before. And in writing about all of those instances, it culminated in this idea, in this realization that action comes first and confidence is the byproduct of that action instead of the reverse. And earlier this week, Ari and I on our main episode of No More Mondays talked about this. And I think it is so important, not only in building confidence, but also, and this is what she and I talked about, is the action that is required to get in touch with the authenticity inside you. And it's so interesting because we often get this backwards. And that's why I think it is such a resonant chapter and a resonant concept is, how often have you said to yourself, once I'm more confident or once I'm ready, or even once the time is right, which is same concept, different phrase, I'll do the thing. I just need to build more confidence first. When I'm ready, I'll take the step. However, in most cases, confidence isn't something we build first or find until we start moving. And that is when it shows up in those brave steps, one after another, is when we start to find the confidence that then compounds. And it can compound into different, even unrelated things, right? So all of you know, I am a huge outdoor adventure person. Thank you to my husband, Jim. And trying and learning new things outside, whether it was mountain biking or switching from snowboarding to skiing in my 40s, helped me realize I am capable of new things, and challenging myself physically had a carryover effect into, business, leadership, and other aspects of life. And so this is where we have to remember that just about everything we've ever done came before the confidence to do it. And if we all waited to be confident, we wouldn't do anything new. Nobody would ever change careers, get a promotion, start a business, or learn a new hobby, right? So think back to the first time you ever gave a presentation or stepped on a stage, your first big leadership role, the first time you tried something new, whether it was in the outdoors or in an office, right? You started with a level of uncertainty and a lower level of confidence that likely made it uncomfortable, but you were able to take action anyways. And over time, that confidence shows up because we built an evidence system. We have the receipts, y'all. We have the receipts to tell us that we're capable of doing the thing. Therefore, we're capable and confident in doing the thing. And so as we talk about action first, confidence next, remember, confidence tends to follow the experiences that give it to us versus the other way around. But this is where we get stuck. No action equals no experience. No experience equals no confidence. No confidence equals no action. How is that for a vicious cycle? It can last for loops and weeks, months, and years. However, if you can take a really small step forward, things can change. It does not mean you need to go get on a $4,000 bike and huck yourself down a hill and hope you don't break your collarbone. It means doing something small. It means not doing nothing so that you can gain information, gain feedback, get those receipts, and that proof that shows you can. You can navigate the situation, and you can get the confidence that will start to build on itself and bleed elsewhere or bleed up into greater levels of the same thing. So my challenge for you this week is if there is something you've been putting off because you don't feel confident enough to try it, or the time isn't right, or conditions aren't perfect, or you aren't perfect, don't focus on the feeling. Don't focus on the lack of confidence. Don't think about the imperfection of the climate. Focus on the smallest meaningful action you can take either next or first in order to get yourself even a half an inch along that line, right? It could be as simple as sending an email, reaching out to somebody, calling somebody, sending the text to set up a meeting, or to set up an informational interview, or to get more information. It could be starting the draft of a book. It could be posting on social media. It could just be testing the idea. It could even be telling someone about the goal or the thing. When we speak things out loud, they get a lot of power. And so that is a small, extremely meaningful action that you can take in order to get yourself just a little bit of momentum along your path. Action creates experience. Experience builds the evidence, and that evidence is what we build confidence on. So if you're waiting to feel confident before you start, you might be waiting longer than you need to. So I'm going to challenge you this week to think about the smallest, most meaningful act you can do to just start moving, because I promise you the confidence will catch up. That's your midweek momentum. I'll see you next week.